Good day, Darlington County School District, and welcome back to another In the Know. I'd like to start out with this segment by acknowledging the tragic loss of one of our students' lives due to gun violence earlier this week. Anytime that we have one of our students that passes, we know that there are dreams and hopes that have been lost, and we know how that impacts their family, and our thoughts and prayers go out to our students' family, but we also know how this has impacted students and staff that not only are in those buildings, but were in some of the other buildings that were impacted by Tuesday's events. And I just know that it was a difficult experience for everybody, along with the reality of loss of life of a 16-year-old. And so, again, my hearts and prayers go out to that family, as well as everybody that has been impacted throughout our district, because we were all impacted in different ways on Tuesday. I also want to thank all of our staff and administrators and even our students on how they responded to the emergency protocols that were put in place for the various buildings around the district. We actually had a reunification that had to be done, and it went off very well. But also just the way that you, our adults, led our students, made sure that there was no panic, that there was no chaos, but there was a very organized sense of making sure to take care of the safety, first and foremost for our students, but then also for each other. And again, I want to thank you for that. And I know we have practiced drills over and over, but this is one of those times where practice helped us when it came time to address the real emergency. I can tell you that, of course, law enforcement is working on this particular case, trying to bring to a close those responsible for the actions and for the death of our student. And we certainly support them in their efforts. We appreciate also our law enforcement's response on Tuesday, how quickly they were on site at several of our locations, including where the incident took place, and also how they have been working since then to try to bring those responsible to justice. Unfortunately, it's also not the first teenager that has died from gun violence from the Darlington County School District over the past couple years. And so it makes me realize once again that we can only do so much when our students are with us during the school day for approximately 7.5 hours. But we've got to have the help of our community. We've got to work together, whether it be our pastors and ministers, our nonprofits, our elected officials, our law enforcement agencies, our businesses. It's going to take all of us to address what's really going on in our communities right now. But if we can work together, I know we can solve problems together quickly. And so I look forward to seeing how that looks in the very near future. I'll switch to just a couple items for the Board of Education meeting that we had Monday evening. One of the biggest points that came from that meeting was Election Day. And it is on our calendar as a regular school day, but there are many of our schools that are being used as voting precincts, and I am not comfortable having outside people on our campuses with our students during the school day. And so because of that, we will be switching to an e-learning day on November 7th, and we will be messaging this out to our parents and community later on this week. Also at the board meeting, I presented my annual State of the District Year in Review. And it's always interesting to me that I'm always talking about the year in review in October, but that's only because we don't have the data to talk about the year in review until October, because our report cards and our testing data is embargoed until early October. So again, to be able to give a comprehensive and complete year in the review, I have to have everything in front of me and have to be able to discuss it in public. So I was able to do that with the board, and again, we have a lot of great gains with our schools on report cards. We have an extra excellent school this year. So last year we had 3, now we have 4. We have more good schools. Last year we had 2, now we have 4. We have less average because they're good and excellent. We have less below average, and we have no unsatisfactory anymore. So very encouraged about the report cards, and then also a lot of the data that's associated with them. I'll definitely do a more in-depth look at that for you on a special In the Know in the future. But again, I just want to commend you, but I also want you to have the confidence and the confirmation that what you're doing in our schools for our students matters. And yes, teachers, absolutely what you are doing, but also TAs, and also support staff that's in the building, also bus drivers, also food service, cafeteria workers, maintenance department, technology department. It's all our effort in order to see the success that our students are having. And I look forward to this year because we've gotten off to such a great springboard from this past year. I know that's going to carry over, and I look forward to seeing that as well at the end of the school year. That's everything I have today for our In the Know. It's an abbreviated version, but that's okay sometimes. Again, I want to emphasize that we are a family in the Darlington County School District. I always say DCSD family. And I know during difficult times like this past week that we will bind together like family. And I know that you'll look after each other, and I know you'll look after your students. And so I just want to tell you, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of the way that you've handled this week, and I know that's what will happen anytime we are faced with a crisis. As I always say, hug on your family members. Let them know how much you love them and appreciate them. And also let them know how much we appreciate them sharing you with us. And just a reminder, we can't take anything for granted. We can't take tomorrow for granted, but we can make the best of what's in front of us today. So I'll look forward to seeing you in the next In the Know.